All right, welcome back to Forgotten Fruits. Today we're going to be harvesting some of our honey that we pulled off yesterday. We were out in the beehives yesterday and discovered that we needed to take some of the honeycomb out of there. So we're going to spin it out today and then we'll put them back in the hive so the bees can add a little more honey to them in the last month or so of the harvest season here. So to begin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing the easy part. I'm going to be going into the hive using the frame grabber 3000 here, picking up the frames with it so that you get a good grip on it, like so. I will be bringing them over to Jen, who's at the
got the uncapping station here.
Uncapping station.
So these frames that we pulled out of the honey supers, you can see that they are nicely capped all the way across. They have this nice wax topping. And in order to get the honey out of these frames, we have to get rid of that so that the honey can actually come out of all the little cells. So to start with that, we've got our hot knife. So this is plugged in and really hot. And I'm just gonna run it down the top of these frames to take the cappings off. And then some of the cappings are actually a little bit below the level of the top of the frame where I can cut. So in those instances, if there's anything left, then we'll use this uncapping fork or comb to kind of just poke at the top of those those cells to open them up. So this is our uncapping station here. It's got a little grate in here to catch any wax, and then it's gonna let the honey fall down into the bottom chamber. And you see there's a honey gate here. So it's closed right now, I hope. And if any honey comes down into the bottom of this, then we can open up that gate and let it flow into a bucket. So honeybees, they like to have everything secure and they propolis in everything. So they make the sticky substance that seals up the inside of their hive, but also their frames are real stuck. So we have to loosen all these up with this hive tool to get them all out. You can hear them pop, come apart. So we got to undo some of their architecture, but look at all that awesome honey they did for us. Capped it right in. So this is nice fresh wax. It's really pale in color. So this is definitely all stuff they built out this year. Comes off really nice. They did a great job of filling up this frame. And then we have to do both sides of this because if you look at a honey frame before they actually put any of the comb on it, there's a piece of foundation, we call it, that sits in the middle of this. So this frame is actually divided right down the middle and there's comb on both sides. So that's why when we put it in the centrifuge, we have to flip it and spin the other side as well because there's honey that can come out both sides. These guys are below the level of the frame, so they didn't get uncapped. So we'll just do this manually and off to the centrifuge she'll go.
Jen has cut the cappings off of some of these frames. I will take them, put them into the spinner centrifuge. Ours is electric and it fits 4 frames in it at a time, which is kind of nice. You can take that one. All right, so once we get this last one in here, we'll put the lid on it, or lids on it, and then we'll fire it up. And then we'll show you what it looks like as the honey is coming out of the centrifuge. So I picked this particular spinner up on Facebook Marketplace. It was brand new, but it had one defect, as you can see here. The lid for it has all these little cracks in it, but it still works perfectly fine. So I got this quite inexpensively. I think it cost me $140. It's brand new. It has that one defect and it didn't come with the legs for the stand, but for me that was perfectly fine. I mean, you can get them as small as 2 frames where it's a hand crank spinner. This one is electric. I don't remember what the retail cost of this is, but it's probably around $500-ish. And you can see I had a little boo-boo and cracked the plexiglass here, but I just epoxied it up and it's fine. So we cover it up and now we turn, I like to put it on, I think about 40% speed to get it going. and then I'll turn it on and you can see it in action. So Jen's dad, aka Big John, is good with electrical engineering type things, and he manufactured this little timer for us that plugs right into the power cord for the spinner, so we can set it to however many seconds we want it to spin, and then it'll automatically turn off for us. It's a really nice little feature that's not built into this model, so it's a great add-on that makes our life a little easier. We can just set it and forget it, go off and do other things, come back, and when it's done spinning, we'll flip the frames to the other side, and we'll hit it again and get it going for the same amount of time.
Video.
Okay, so we're just checking our timing. We had it set for 180 seconds, but it really depends on the temperature, the viscosity of the honey, and some other factors probably that dictate how long you need to spin it for to get all the honey out. And so we'll look in there, and you can see the cells look wet. I'm going to zoom in on up here. The cells look wet, but there's no honey sitting in there, so it looks like I did a good job. Right, so we spun out about 2.5 batches here, and it's getting full, so the honey is up to the bottom of the frames now, so we have to empty it because it'll cause a lot of drag on the spinning. So we're going to open this gate. The honey is going to flow out, and we're going to run it through the screen just to get the large chunks of wax out of it. We're not doing any high pressure filtering or anything bizarre like that, just getting the big chunks of wax. We want to keep it nice and raw, but we also don't want it to be chunky. So here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. There's actually 2 filters here. The first, you can see these 2 rims. The first one is of course a coarser filter to get the big chunks, and then the one below it's a little bit finer. It's all just gravity fed. Over time we'll have to clean it out a bit before we can continue on, because it will get filled up with these wax chunks that you can see in here.
So our coarse filter got plugged up with wax that was coming out of the centrifuge, so we're just cleaning it out. Here's all the kind of honey and cappings that have come out of the centrifuge. Just gonna clean this out and get her back on to go again. We've got 5 gallons of honey full, so we're just jarring it up right now. Gallon bucket is about 60 pounds of honey. We're putting it in 1-pound jars here. So only about 55 more jars left to go.
We wrapped up spinning the honey, harvesting the honey. It took us about 5 hours-ish to do it. We got about 140 pounds-ish. So now we've collected all the cappings, the stuff that Jen was cutting off the frames that you saw earlier.
Nice empty frame here.
And all of that is in this crock pot being cooked down. Some of it will separate out. We'll have wax, we'll have some, impurities like various bug parts and so on. And then the wax will separate out, and then there'll be a layer of honey down at the bottom of it that we'll be able to harvest off. It'll be a little bit kind of caramelized because it's been cooked, and so we won't bottle that for sale, but I like to use that in my old fashioned. It works really well. It has a little caramelly flavor. So yeah, so that's what we got.
First harvest this year, this is early August of 2025, and we spun down these hives or all these frames, and we're actually going to put these honey supers back on what's called wet, so it still has like drippings of honey in here, and hopefully they'll still be able to fill these this fall, because we still have not even had any goldenrod flower yet, so there should be another nice flow of nectar and pollen coming in. So this year we had started the year with 3 hives, which was 100% success rate that we had come through the winter. We did some splits early in the year. We had 6 hives, but had some trouble maintaining a queen in a couple, even after a queen that I had purchased, and they got her out of her cage too early and killed her, so then we had to requeen that. So we've had a few setbacks, just using a little bit more of their resources, dividing between hives, and just trying to grow our apiary. But overall this year, so we've got about 130 pounds from our first harvest, and we'll see what we get from our second which should be in about a week. Or yeah, sorry, a month. Thank God we're not doing this next week.
All right, so let us know if you have any comments or tips about our process here, as we're still learning like everybody else. But or if you have questions, post them below. We'll help try to answer them, and maybe some other followers will, other watchers will. So if you like what you see here on our channel, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be doing more about bees. We'll have a whole segment about bees we'll continue to do, as well as other aspects of our farm, like the permaculture farm food forest that we're putting in has chestnuts, elderberries, pawpaws, honeyberries, etc. So like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.